Welcome back to the Point After with Grusk. I'm Garrett Rusick. I'm Grusk. I'm excited to get things going for you today. Talking a lot about football, right? Another great week of college football, another great week of the NFL. Excited to do some game breakdowns. We'll get down to that here in a bit. Um, Give you a little bit of an outline. We're going to talk college football. We're going to recap the BYU Texas Tech game. I'll give you my this week's November 10th college football playoff rankings. I'm just going to do the bracket. I'm not going to give you the 1 through 25. I'll do my explanation for everything. And then I'm actually going to get into breaking down some of the NFL games. I want to talk about the Rams and maybe throw in another team there, but the Rams had some really impressive stuff on tape that I wanted to look at. So again, let's just get right into it. You guys know I'm a BYU fan. Let's rip the Band-Aid right off. Okay. BYU at Texas Tech. Let's break it down. Tough game for the Cougs. Tough before the game even started. Uh, this game was going to be the hardest game on their schedule, I think, regardless of where we would be at in the season playing in Lubbock. Everybody knew this Texas Tech team was going to be good, but the moment just kept building up in a way. BYU kept winning, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, BYU's winning. Expectations kept rising. Texas Tech kept winning. Texas Tech, and then all of a sudden game day goes there. First time since 2008. This is the biggest game in Lubbock, and biggest game in Texas Tech history, you could say, since 2008 in the regular season. Okay. All of that created a super, super tough environment to play. And shout out to Texas Tech. They showed out. Texas Tech fans, rowdy. I mean, you knew it was going to be like that, but man, they lived up to that moment. And I think that it's great for the Big 12. If you're a Big 12 fan, the downside is how BYU showed up, if they showed up at all. So getting straight into it, uh, I want to first preface this by saying, if you're a Texas Tech fan, or if you're a BYU fan, or if you're outside looking in, I'm. It's important to know that in sports, two things can be true often. Okay. So if I say one thing about a team, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's discrediting the other team. And I'll get into what I mean by that here in just a bit. Okay. First thing that pops out of my first thing that pops out to me when I'm from the outside just looking in at a game and looking at stats is I almost immediately go to two statistics. Okay. The turnover battle and the third down percentage of money down. Okay. BYU lost the turnover battle 2-0 or 3-0. Sorry. 3-0. That's not ideal. Okay. Uh, BYU was 3 for 14 on third down, and Texas Tech was 7 of 18 on third down. So Texas Tech wasn't, crazy good and crazy. I mean, that's like what, 35, 40% on third down. BYU on the flip side, oof, 3 for 14. That is not a good percentage. Um, so tough look for BYU. They just didn't come up and play. So to kind of get into it, uh, Texas Tech's defense is elite. That needs to be noted. Okay. This is the best defense BYU has faced all year long. This is one of the best defenses in the country. And I'm not sure any team going into Lubbock is going to walk out with a win with that environment and against this team playing as good as they did. But this is where it comes in where I was saying two things can be true. It's okay for me to say that BYU laid an egg on offense, but also Texas Tech's defense is elite. I think Texas Tech game planned really well, but I also think BYU just didn't show up. They didn't call a great game. They really didn't assert themselves physically, and they're also not 100% there health-wise. So I look at it, from the box score, LJ had 10 carries. LJ Martin, one of the best running backs in football, had 10 carries for 35 yards. So Tech did a great job of shutting down the run. BYU just didn't assert themselves. And when it comes down to it, they got behind the sticks on first and second down, making those third down conversions long, which killed drives. They also screwed up a ton on other places in the game, special teams, muff punt. That changes everything. BYU, what was the statistic? It was that it was like Texas Tech had minus 50 yards, but 3 points because the first drive they went three and out with like negative 20 yards in sacks, and then we muffed the punt. BYU muffed the punt, I should say, and then they lost another 20 something yards and then kicked a field goal. So BYU didn't play a clean game. Texas Tech defensively played an amazing game. Two things can be true. It's okay to say that, guys. Jacob Rodriguez, legitimate Heisman candidate. If you're looking comparing Manti Te'o and Texas Tech, okay, Manti Te'o and Jacob Rodriguez. The forced fumbles, the interception he had was unreal. I mean, it wasn't even really a bad throw or decision by Bear to tip that and bring it in with the one hand as a linebacker. I mean, just he's an amazing player. So that's basically the essential how it went down was BYU's offense didn't show up. Texas Tech's defense is elite. On the flip side, gotta give BYU's defense some praise. They're on the field what seems like the whole game. They started out with bad field position, what seemed like the whole game. And yeah, Texas Tech had some explosive plays, but we know BYU's really, their defense is going to tighten up in the red zone, and they do. They have done it all year long, and so have to give them their praise and sing their praise. BYU's defense is really, really, really good. That does not mean that Texas Tech's offense called a perfect game inside the red zone and just got stymied. Texas Tech also made some mistakes in the red zone. The score could have been a lot higher. That doesn't discredit BYU's defense. It doesn't. It just says that Texas Tech needs to be a little bit more efficient when they are going up against a team that has an offense that can score, and it's a closer game, right? So overall, that's the analysis of the game. Texas Tech came out, played a really good game defensively. They won the turnover battle. They won the third down conversion. They won the physicality battle up front. They won in the trenches. You win the football game. You dominate. So starting with the bad news for BYU fans and BYU. That was probably the worst case scenario for this game. If you go into Lubbock and win, wow, that's amazing. That's best case. If you go into Lubbock and lose a close one, doesn't really hurt you that much in the eyes of the committee. You went on the road to a top 10 opponent and played them really good, really close. However, they did the worst case. It was the worst possible outcome. On the road, top 10 opponent, but it wasn't even competitive offensively. They looked lost. Committee's going to see that. Eye test, it's going to punish them. We'll talk about it in a little bit. That's the bad news. The good news is BYU controls their destiny. So go win out for BYU. Just so you guys, if you're understanding what you need to do what Utah did. Utah, when they lost to Texas Tech, they had blowouts the next game. They lost to BYU, and they've dominated every team since. BYU needs to go out, and they need to dominate TCU. They need to go out and dominate Cincinnati, and they need to go out and dominate UCF, put themselves in Arlington, and then have a close game to make this playoff. So overall, Texas Tech, what you should learn from it, an elite team, has some things they need to do on offense. They have a bye week. Go get healthy. Figure it out in the red zone. BYU, figure it out offensively. Regroup. Don't let this game break you. All right, let's get into my college football playoff bracket projection. Okay, so this is my rankings for this week, November 10th. And then you'll see the committees tomorrow. Again, I kind of am drawing a little bit of both. I'm doing, this is what I think, but yes, I think I hear some logic from the committee, and that kind of, that's playing into it a little bit. I think this is, my line of thinking is pretty aligned with the committee. I did really good last week. I don't know if you guys were able to tune into that. I think 1 through 3 are pretty interchangeable. The only thing I had off was that Texas Tech, they ranked higher than Oregon. I had it flip-flopped. So excited to see what they come up with this week. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my rankings for this week and in kind of my explanation. So first and foremost, got to share my screen now. So let me go ahead here and pull this up. So these are my college football playoff rankings for this week. Now, you're going to see some alarm things. Let's just go right through it and let's just get into it, okay? And just remember, This is an important note for my BYU fans and other fans. Okay, this is not my 1 through 12 rankings, but my bracket, meaning that the committee and me, I think some of the, I think certain teams that don't get in are better than teams in this bracket, but there are the group of five team that has to get in. There is the ACC champ that has to get in. So because of that, things are going to be a little bit, different. So jumping right into it, 1 through 3. One, Ohio State. I think last week, listening to the committee, they explained how, they talked about the defense, they talked about the overall team. I think that Ohio State is the best team in the country. I think that they are lulling everybody to sleep. They seem to be on coast, just like kind of cruise control right now. They run they need to figure out the run game a bit, but I think when it comes down to it and they're like, oh, backs against the wall, we do need some points, they make it look so easy. So I have them at 1. I have Texas A&M ahead of Indiana. I have them at 2. I think that win over Mizzou, despite it being a backup quarterback, that's a tough place to play. Mizzou's defense is really good. They've only lost to ranked opponents, and for A&M to go in there and do what they did, that is really impressive. On the flip side, Indiana struggled against Penn State. It's nothing against Indiana. I think Penn State was a good team. They came out defensively. That's the Penn State we thought we were all going to get, play a lot of defense. Again, backup quarterback on the road. Which is the more impressive win to me is how I kind of looked at this. And I think that Texas A&M, after smacking LSU and now smacking Mizzou, I think that puts them at 2. A&M fans, congrats. You guys are legit. Marcel Reed is legit. Um, Keep it up, right? Lot of schedule left. Indiana, nothing hurt. 1 through 3 again, interchangeable. This is just my opinion. 4 through 6 are all going to stay the same. Bama at 4, Georgia at 5, Ole Miss at 6. Hard to keep those out. I could maybe see the committee awarding Texas Tech for their win. It'll be interesting to see how they look at that game from Texas Tech and BYU. But 4 through 6 for me we're going to stay the same. Where it gets interesting is 7, right? A lot of changes, a lot of shakeup, a lot of people moving up. So BYU drops from 7. Okay. That puts Texas Tech at 7. That win in dominant fashion. They're the clear 7 team. I think that they can compete with anybody on this bracket in any situation. So I have Texas Tech at 7. Because of Oregon, who is at 9, I have them at 8. I have Notre Dame, who was my 10. I have them jumping to 9. And then I have Texas. Welcome to the party. Now, a lot of panicking BYU fans might say, what the heck? I think that because of the way BYU lost, the committee is going to bump Texas up. They have a kind of a history of recency bias, looking at things how does the team look now? And BYU did not show up offensively. It was not a good game. The way they lost is the reason that BYU is not going to be in the top 10 of the rankings. So I have Texas jumping them into the 10 spot there. After that, I have Georgia Tech. Virginia lost to Wake Forest. They got upset, and then Louisville lost to Cal. So upsets are going to, make it, they shift things around. So Georgia Tech, congratulations. You are back in the driving seat in the ACC. Don't fumble the bag again. So they're at 11, and then USF at 12. Memphis lost at home to a good Tulane team, but UTSA wrote the blueprint on how to beat these guys, and then Memphis could not execute. Great win for John Sumrall. To go on the road. Shout out Jake Retzloff. He played magnificent coming off a bad game against UTSA. Again, I think because of that, American Conference is crazy. They're all beating each other. But USF, I think James Madison in the AP poll was ranked higher, but I think USF's resume is better. I think USF will be rated higher by the committee. And who knows, maybe it's Tulane. That there's 3 teams there, but I think Navy's performance against Notre Dame kind of puts them out of contention there. So we'll be really interesting to see what they do with the group of 5 spot. For me, I think USF is that spot just because of that, that quarterback and just their overall resume. Okay. Moving into my first 4 out, BYU. BYU will be ranked 11 or 12. I think they'll be ranked 11, and then you'll have Oklahoma at 12. Utah is going to be there at 13 still, and then Vanderbilt at 14 with that win. Again, Virginia lost. That's going to move them down. Louisville lost. That's going to bump them out. And then Georgia Tech, I don't know where they'll be ranked, but they'll move into that 11 seed. So this is what my bracket's looking like right now. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, this is my opinion. This is what I think. I do think I'm pretty in line with the committee and their line of thinking. It's not panic mode for BYU. All we're needing, if you're a BYU fan, you're saying, hey, let's go Pitt. Let's go, hoping Texas loses, hoping Oklahoma loses, hoping Notre Dame loses, Oregon loses. That's the hope for you guys. You hope Texas Tech keeps winning, and you hope Notre Dame, Oregon, Oklahoma, Texas, you hope they keep losing. Get that spot. And then on your end, as a BYU team, they just need to handle their business and win. All right, guys, let's get into the NFL games and a little bit of a breakdown. We've been doing like 2 games and 2 plays to break down. I think that's a good format here. Don't want to get too long into these things, but as I talked about before, I want to get into the Rams. Want to talk about them and do a little bit of a play breakdown. Man, what they're on fire. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC. That's just what I think. Firing on all cylinders. Such a young defense. McVay is amazing. Matt Stafford's playing at the highest level he's ever played in his career. But I want to go to a team out of the AFC, and young quarterback slinging the ball, surprising everybody. I want to talk about the Patriots. And I haven't been super high on the Patriots, just given their schedule. It hasn't been amazing. I mean, they haven't played anybody crazy good. This isn't the college though. This is the NFL. So if you're 8-2 in the NFL, you're a dang good team. Don't get me wrong. But lost to lost to the Steelers at home, and then lost to the Raiders as well, week 1. Now, since then, Drake May's been really, really good. Obviously, people have him in the MVP conversation. I love what Vrabel's doing. I love what he's doing with the team. I love what he's doing with Drake May. But want to talk about this game because they played the Buccaneers in Tampa. This is a game that I kind of had circled on the schedule as like, hey, this is a real test for him. Okay, I know he has wins against the Bills, but I think this is probably one of the best defenses he's going to face when it comes down to just overall teams. I mean, 6-3 Buccaneers now after they've lost, but want to get into it. Obviously, Baker is going to do Baker things: 28 of 43, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. Okay. On the flip side, Drake May, 16 of 31, so not his best and most efficient outing, but 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Only took 1 sack for about a yard, it looks like. So, really good outing from Drake May in a response to a really, really good defense that does a really good job of disguising, mixing things up, throwing different looks at you. I love what Bulls does with Tampa Bay. But that being said, TreVeyon Henderson, it's always nice when you have a guy going for 130 plus on the ground. 2 touchdown runs of over 50 yards, 69 being the long. TreVeyon Henderson, welcome to the show. He looked a lot like Jonathan Taylor on those runs. I know that's crazy to say. Jonathan Taylor is my MVP right now, but I'm just saying he looked really good. So, want to break down a play with you. Reason this game was circled on my calendar is I know Todd Bowles is in moments. There's going to be times when he's going to say, "Hey, let's see if this young kid can make this throw. Let's see if he can do it." And this is a play where he does do it. So, we're going to go ahead and break it down. This is going to be a 3rd and long in the fourth quarter here. 3rd and 14 in the third quarter here. Or sorry, in the fourth quarter. Okay. We're going to have the Patriots are going to come out in a 2 backs with 2 wide receivers on the right, a wide receiver on the left. Okay. This is a tight end. I believe it's a tight end. And then you're going to see the Buccaneers, they're showing, right? Like who's coming. We don't really know. They end up being in a buzz cover 3. We've talked about this before. The safety on the weak side is going to drop here into the deep. Now he's setting his depth at 14 to 15 yards because the sticks are at 14. It's 3rd and 14. So he's playing pretty deep. You're going to have this corner locked match onto this guy, but it's a deep third, right? He's playing this 1 to vertical. This corner's playing 1 to vertical. This safety's playing middle of the field, but reading the threats, right? He's going to read 2 to 1 to backside 1, right? And then these backs are going to drop. You're going to have him come to one of them to the flats, hook to curl, okay, or hook to flat, and then they're going to send 4, okay? So from the Patriots side, what you're going to see is they're obviously trying to send people vert. They want to stretch the vertical. So this guy on the bottom is going to clear out this 2. He's going to run kind of a clear stop. It's a vert choice. Looks like a curl to me. He's going to try to sit in this soft zone. And then this tight end that's going to release out of the backfield, he's going to try to put this curl to flat defender in a little bit of a bind, or a hook to curl defender in a little bit of a bind, and take that attention away. Now, Drake May very well could hit this guy. It's kind of soft coverage. It's open, it's there, but he sees the matchup at the top of the screen. And Mac Hollins, by the way, has been such a slept on addition for the Patriots. But what we're going to see from Mac is he's going to run a vertical. He's going to stretch this corner vertically. And it's an amazing route because he's stemming inside. It looks like he's going to run a post. And so this corner, or it looks like he's going to run a post or a dig right at this sticks. This corner kind of bites on that fake, and Drake May sees that, right? He knows the matchup, and he's going to take this shot vertically. Okay, so let's watch it in full speed. I noticed in my breakdowns I'm just kind of choppy, choppy, choppy. I want you guys to see the full play. Okay, so keep an eye on the top of that screen. 3rd and 14. Not often do you see the young quarterback taking a shot here, but man, he's going to step into it, put the ball in a perfect spot. He's going to help Max stack back on top of the corner, and they're going to have 1st and goal on the 3-yard line because of it. Now, this is a view I really want you guys to take a look at, okay? This is from the end zone view. We're not going to see the receivers really making a play here, but I want you to take a look at Drake May. This is the stuff you love to see from a young quarterback. He's going to step in there, see some heat coming. I mean, just great little twist move by the edge there on the Buccaneers side. You got this guy honing in on you. He feels that, and he's going to just step into it, deliver a strike while taking a hit. Boom, dot, down to the 5-6 yard line for Mac Hollins. Such a cool play. Again, not like a crazy play design or scheme, but I just love Drake May, and I love his deep ball. Overall, great game by Drake May to go and put up 28 points. I mean, as an offense, 2 touchdowns, and a road win against a good team. Can't fault him there. Really good from Drake May. Now, getting into the team that I've just been loving so much is the Rams. And as a BYU fan, obviously you watch the Rams because of Puka Nacua. I have loved Matt Stafford from the start. I'll be the first to tell you that those sidearm throws, those no-lookers, Matt was doing those before Pat came to the league. No respect to my GOAT. But Matt's been doing that. Matt's been that guy. So just puts on a masterclass. And guys, I know Niners are hurt, but this is a Saleh coached defense, and they're always going to have discipline. They're always going to be physical. They're always going to be a good team with Saleh coaching that defense up. Shanahan doing his thing on offense. Shout out Mac Jones, by the way. In this game, he's 33 of 39. 33 of 39, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. The one mistake was that INT towards the end of the game. I believe it was. Actually, it might have been in the beginning of the game. I can't remember when that pick was now. But anyways, on the flip side, Matt Stafford, 24 of 36, 280 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, what makes this offense go? McVay. He is so good. He has a plan, and the fact that him and Stafford are on the same page all the time, I think that sometimes you just get a match made in heaven. You get Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. You get Matt Stafford and McVay on offense, just dialing things up. Kyron Williams had another great game, 14 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. But man, look at the distribution. Devontae Adams touchdown, 6 catches. Puka Nacua touchdown, 5 catches. Colby Parkinson touchdown with 4 catches. Matt Stafford's getting everybody the ball, showing everybody the love. McVay, though, play design is I love it so much. So let's get into a play for them here. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to get this one going. So this is going to be a touchdown pass from Matt Stafford here, but I think the thing I love most about McVay is how he's been able to use the tight ends. This year, having, Puka not be fully healthy, having back against the wall, tight ends, personnel, and play calling has been huge, and he stepped up just in a massive way. So it's actually interesting enough. It looks like cover 1, but no, it is. In this case, it is cover 1. So you're going to have the safety that's going to be over the top, and then everybody's matched up. We've talked about this before, the importance of the little things, okay? As a defensive player, if I'm in man coverage, if it's cover 1, so this guy's going to be manned up here. This guy, they're probably playing a little bit of a tango here. So the first guy or a banjo is what we called it. The first guy that goes out, the corner's going to take. Then the next guy is going to be for this linebacker. And then this linebacker or this safety is going to take the next guy out. So important to note though, formation alignment. Okay. This tight end is off the line. This tight end also is not attached to the line. So what that does is it allows this tight end to not be covered and he's going to run a route. Now, why is that important? Because this tight end's just off enough off the line. He's in a 3-point stance. It still looks like he's gonna they're blocking down. This is Kyron Williams special. You hand it off, 8 times out of 10 you hand this off. But the 9th or 10th time is when you come out with 3 tight ends, 31 personnel, right? The first number is how many tight ends. The second number is how many running backs. 31 personnel from McVay here. He's going to motion over. We're going to see him playing their little shift in a banjo. This guy that's in motion is actually going to be the one to help that pass blocking. When they motion him, you think that this guy's going to be the receiver threat and this guy's going to pass block. It's actually swapped. He's going to motion in, okay? And then, boom, this guy's going to release for a route, and he's going to basically take the spot on the end of both of those tight ends so they can release for routes. This tight end right here does such a good job, though. He's going to basically chip, boom, knock this guy off to help out with the pass rush to buy more time for Stafford, and then he's just going to leak out. And what you're going to see is lack of discipline. 27's playing way too aggressive in the run here. He should be watching one of these tight ends release for a route and the running back release for a route. He bites way too fast. This guy's locked up. Safety's helping out. Just Matt's eyes, right? He's going to see maybe a rollout, or he thinks this guy's the only threat. And then you're going to have this tight end bash through, come out wide open, and Matt's going to deliver a perfect throw here. So watching it all the way through, this is what you're going to see. Motion. He's going to help in pass pro. Perfect timing. Boom. Deliver a dart. Now, look at this throw, though, by the way. Pressure on him. Sidearm flick. Boom. Into the window. I think you'll be able to probably see it a little bit better from this view. Watch this. 27 just going to be way aggressive in the run because you think, hey, it's Kyron Williams time. Nobody's reading their keys. I mean, the linemen are sliding. Anyways, he crashes down hard. He's going to release, chip. Look, Stafford sees his first progression, sees that it's double team, but that's going to open up this drag route. And he's going to just look at him hold. Oh my gosh, guys. This is a no look. Look at him hold this. 27 realizes it's pass, so he's going to try to start playing space. Matt's looking here, making it seem like a crosser's maybe coming back over the middle, or it's a hook or a stop route. And he's just going to look here and look at that. His eyes, I can notate a little bit. His eyes are here or here. And he's throwing that here across his body. That is unreal. So going to deliver that sidearm strike here, and it's a perfect throw. Walk-in touchdown. A combination of brilliance in the play design, execution from these tight ends, and knocking people off their route, and then Matt Stafford just look at that. That is so awesome. Little sidearm, no look, boom, walk-in touchdown. Impressive win for the Rams. I have the Rams as my team in the NFC this year, taking it all the way. But yeah, excited for this week. Again, another great week of football. Let me know if there's any other teams you want me to break down. I personally chose these teams myself. I haven't received any other requests, so I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are. Other than that, I'll see you next time on The Point After with Grusk.